Hey you, welcome back to my kitchen. I'm so glad you're here. I'm happy to be here. And I just want to go over a little bit of what we're going to do today. I have, in the past, started out my YouTube career with cooking traditional Southern food that I happen to like. And I did that for a long time, and I made a lot of videos, but I figured I was missing a niche because there's a lot of people who, they're not ready for advanced technique. They need to know how to cook just regular, easy stuff that's not using a microwave. And so I started a series called Back to Basics. And so far I've done eggs, potatoes, and rice. And it's got great feedback. And people are watching, and they're appreciative that I am breaking things down to the very elementary bare bones of how to feed yourself. Because ultimately, that's what it's all about. Making good food that tastes good so you can live. In addition to my Back to Basics, I ask people in videos to send me requests. What would you like to see me cook? Well, you've listened and you're starting to give me some feedback. The last video I did was on fried potatoes. My friend Dana wanted to know how to do fried potatoes that wouldn't stick to the pan. Well, so I showed her, and it was wonderful. Well, I got another request, y'all, so this video's by request. My friend Michelle, who, I'm telling you, she's more like my sister because I yell at her like we're related. She loves fried cabbage, but she has no idea how to make it happen. And so she asked me if I would show her how to make my fried cabbage. And so that's what we're going to do today. So I'm going to get this thing cranked up as Oscar is walking around on the floor. And I'm going to tell you what I've done so far. Fried cabbage is a beautiful dish. Now, if you say you don't like cabbage, shame on you. What's not to like, y'all? Cabbage. It's mostly water. I mean, it doesn't have a strong taste. It doesn't really have a strong smell either. It's a versatile vegetable. I mean, you can steam it. You can fry it like we're going to do. You can boil it if you want to. You can chop it up and make a vinaigrette salad with it. Or you can make coleslaw, which is my favorite. I mean, cabbage is just a wonderful, wonderful vegetable. You can put it in an egg roll. Seriously, let's make some cabbage. So, what I've done, I chopped up my onion, because fried cabbage has to have onion, and I chopped it into little pieces, and it was just one medium onion. And I did chop the pieces, well, you see, it's not little tiny diced, but I did want to make the onion kind of blend in with the cabbage. I didn't want just big hunks of onion in there. So I chopped it up, one medium onion, so I guess I've got about a cup of chopped onion here. And then I took one whole head of cabbage. I peeled off the outside leaves that look gross, because I don't want that. And then I split that sucker down the middle, and my particular cabbage, he had a black heart. He had a little something funky going on in there. So I just chopped that out along with the stalk, the stem part, because I don't like that part. It's hard and woody, and I think it's bitter. So I always chop that part out. So I took the rest of that piece of cabbage, and I diced it. Well, I didn't dice it exactly. I made slivers. I gave it a fine chop so that I'm left with just little slivers of cabbage. And this was one whole head. So you get quite a lot, but remember, cabbage is mostly water. And this is going to cook down by at least half, if not more. So you won't end up with this gigantic bowl of cabbage, trust me. But in addition to onions, well, hello, cabbage's other best friend is bacon. I know, you're welcome. This is just regular thin bacon. Normally I like the thick cut stuff, but this is just regular thin cut bacon. I cooked this at 375 degrees on a baking sheet that I had lined with aluminum foil. I spread out my bacon and I cooked it for 25 minutes at 375. Now, when you do that, you're going to get this perfectly cooked, yummy piece of bacon that's not a bit burned. It's flat as can be. It's perfect to go on a sandwich. Because I find that if I cook it straightly in my skillet, I tend to kind of, it gets a little discolored and burned. And there's lots of little pieces of the actual fat of the bacon that gets left. So I like to strain that stuff out so I won't be messing around with burned stuff, because we don't want to eat burned stuff unless it's a marshmallow, because that's the best. Okay, so anyway, I strained out my bacon grease and I've got it right here. Now I know if you're health conscious, which I know we all should be, but this is fried cabbage. We're not going to eat this every night. We're only going to eat it occasionally. So we can splurge and have some bacon grease. So this is the bacon grease that came off of the bacon that I cooked earlier. And I'm going to put that straight in my skillet that's heating up here, because I'm telling y'all, it makes such a big difference when you cook with animal fat as opposed to like vegetable oil or just straight up olive oil. Cabbage and bacon and onions. My house is going to smell amazing. Just saying. Y'all come on over. So while this is getting hot, which shouldn't take it but a minute because this thing is hot as the devil, I'm going to go ahead and put my onions in. And they should just start crackling and snapping here in just a minute. So, yep, they're starting to start dancing around in the pan. Now, back to bacon. You see I got mine good and crispy. If you don't want your bacon cooked until it just snaps like this, if you want it a little, it's not. It's less done, less crispy. You don't have to cook it for 25 minutes. I just like it to be cooked to where I can just snap it in pieces, because I don't like lumpy bacon. I don't like it to be, no, I like it to be a little crunchy. And I'm not going to cook my bacon in with my cabbage. I'm going to wait till the end till I'm ready to serve it. Then I'm going to crumble it up and I'm going to spread it on top and serve it that way. So that way you can get a bite of the bacon. You're going to taste the bacon grease in the background. You're going to taste the onion and that crunch of that bacon. It's just going to make your life so much better, honestly. And I do love it when that onion starts cooking. Seriously, it smells like heaven. Now while this starts to come up to temperature, I want you to start thinking about maybe what you'd like to see cooked. I mean, I'm sure that there are plenty of you folks who know how to cook. But if you know somebody who might not be as advanced as you are, tell them to tune in to me, because I want to help them. And shoot, if there's something in particular that you think might stump me, I'll play your game. Send it to me. Let's cook it. I'm adventurous. I'll cook anything that I can catch. Well, except a possum. I ain't gonna cook no possum. No way, Jose. Sorry, Pat Smith. My friend Pat Smith, he's always wanting me to cook a possum knuckle or possum in a crock pot or something. And I have yet to see the possum on my doorstep, so I don't assume that he really wants me to cook it that badly. But possum, can you imagine me cooking a possum? Oh my goodness. I don't think so. So these onions, oh yes, Lord, it's happening. They are coming up to temperature and I'm thrilled, but I don't want to burn them. I'm going to put them over to the side, just like that. Then I'm going to start putting in my cabbage. Now, like I told you, this cabbage is going to start melting down. But it likes the hot pan because it starts activating the moisture and it starts releasing the moisture in the cabbage and breaking down and getting nice and tender. I mean, fabulous, fabulous vegetable. I'm telling y'all, my friend Jeff Burton, he doesn't like cabbage. His wife Rachel loves it. But Jeff Burton, he don't. He don't like it at all. He says it stinks. And he doesn't like the mouthfeel, and what am I going to do with these people? I'm telling you. He's from South Georgia, so maybe that's why. I'm kidding. I love you, South Georgia people. All right, so I've got as much of my cabbage in as I can work with at the moment. So I'm going to let it cook. Might consider covering it up for a few minutes and letting it cook like that so it'll steam just a little bit. But we want to fry it. We're not looking to steam this exactly. We want to sear the cabbage so that it's going to kind of shock it. It's not going to be crunchy, but, well, it's hard to describe if you've never had it. But if you do what I'm telling you to, then it's going to turn out right. So we're going to let this continue to cook, and I'm just going to stir it every once in a while. And when it comes to seasoning, it's very straightforward and low key. This doesn't require a lot of additional seasoning, nothing crazy anyway. Good old salt and pepper, and I like a little garlic powder. That with the bacon grease. And I'm not gonna lie, sorry, I got a little hair in my mouth. I do hit it with a little butter at the end just because of, you know, me and dairy. It's that lifelong love affair I have with dairy. But I like it, so I put it in. If you don't want to, you don't have to. Nobody's going to come and take you to the pokey or anything. But it's delicious if you add it. So I'm going to turn this just one little bit as it all falls out of the pan. But you'll notice it gets easier and easier to work with because as that cabbage starts breaking down. And see what I'm doing? I'm just going in after it and I'm just kind of turning it with my tongue, see? Going in and just kind of flipping it over so that everybody gets a little sunburn on the bottom there. See? Everybody's got to touch the bottom of the pan to get hot. But for the seasoning, I'm just going in with my salt. Now, normally, I would reach in with my hand and grab it and just go at it. But I know that you need to know how much to use. So, I'm going to go at it with, what's this? That is a teaspoon. Let's see what it looks like. A teaspoon of salt. Well, that's a good start. So, I got my teaspoon of salt in there. And I'm probably going to go in with maybe half a teaspoon of the garlic powder, because I'm not making a garlic dish, but I do like the little bit of hint of garlic in the background because it's delicious with the cabbage. And then old friend here, black pepper, it's necessary. If you don't want to put black pepper on here, you better come on over and let me talk to you. You got to have it, y'all. So, let me put that back there. Move things around just a little bit. And look, it's coming together. And this doesn't take long. I mean, if you get your bacon cooked beforehand, you just got to chop up your vegetables and shoot. 15 minutes, you could be eating a big bowl of fried cabbage. I'm just saying. Well, if you cooked half a head. This was a big head of cabbage, so it's going to take a little while. But it already smells wonderful. And you can see it's already starting to cook down and wilt a little bit. So, Michelle, I know you're watching this. Do as I do, and you're going to have the best cabbage ever. Because this is exactly how I make it for you. And you always tell me, oh my God, it's so good. So, I mean, it's no secret, and I'm not doing anything, you know, crazy. It's a method. You just got to go at it with the right approach. With your hot pan, the bacon grease, the right chop on your vegetable, the right seasonings. Put it all together, and it's the perfect combination. I mean, that's just the way life works, y'all. Find a good combination for most any topic. And it's either going to be hit or miss. When you find the right combination, well, then it's going to be a hit. So, words of wisdom from me. Don't depend on me for your words of wisdom. But I do know cabbage. So, Just gonna let it cook. So this has just been cooking up beautifully. The house smells wonderful. I'm starting to get a little bit of caramelization on the onions. As I flip them over, I can see where they're starting to get a little bit brown, and that's perfect because that tells me that those onions are starting to release a little bit of the sugar, getting caramelized, and it's just a wonderful combination with this cabbage. We could pretty much consider the cabbage cooked. Now, if you wanted to continue cooking it past this point, which I'd say I've been going at it here for about 8 minutes. If you want to let it go for longer so it gets nice and wilted and it's a lot more compact, well, you can do that. But I would probably serve it at this point because it's still got a little bit of tooth to it, but it's definitely reduced in size. So I know that a lot of that water is being leached out from the heat. And that's wonderful. Now here goes the butter, because you know I got to. Probably just two pats of butter. That's all you need. I know, cholesterol, woohoo, whatever. I just stir that in. Give it a toss and a twirl. And then, so excited! Look. You want to grab me up just a little bit? I'll grab me some of this bacon. I'm just going to crumble it on top. Now, if you want to put your bacon in there while it's cooking so it can get nice and, you know, soft and slimy, well, go ahead. That's your business. Jamie's not going to do it because that's not hot. But I am going to get me a fork. I'm going to try this because hot dog looks good. Well, oh, yes. Oh, it's crunchy still. I'm surprised that Brad Musgrove hadn't smelled this down in the basement in his office because if he knew there was bacon, of course he'd be up here. If he knew I was frying cabbage, shut the front door. He'd be in line. First in line. That's about all there is to it, y'all. I hope you learned something. Michelle, I hope that you follow this method. I hope you let me know how it goes because I'm curious to know what you're going to think of this method. I'm going to post it at jamieteachmetocook.com and it'll be on my Facebook page as well. It will be on Pinterest. It'll be, for sure, there'll be photographs of it over on Instagram. So I urge you to please follow me and like and subscribe to the video and the channel and all that stuff because it really does make a difference and it is so helpful and I do appreciate your support. I'm going to go eat this cabbage now and I'm going to do it off camera so I don't embarrass myself. See you next time, y'all. Bye.